Hi, I'm Dr. Nate Upshaw, psychiatrist and one of the founders of Tampa Bay Psychiatry. And we're making this video today. I've got Dr. Obregon with me off camera. We're trying to maintain our 6 feet distance because obviously we're recording this without a mask. And we're going to answer some questions today about supplements and vitamins. So we've been encouraging patients to get labs done to see if they're deficient in any vitamins, and we're replacing them with certain vitamins and supplements. We've always been doing this, but now that we're in our new office, we have the ability to draw labs, we have the ability to prescribe these supplements to people. And so we want to kind of get some information out, both to our patients who are going to be able to view this video on our website, but also to anyone who may be interested in why someone with mental health problems, depression, anxiety, ADHD, would want to take supplements. So Dr. Obregon is going to join me in a second, but I kind of wanted to just set that up. What we're going to talk about is, first of all, why it's important to check these labs. Then we're going to talk about some specific supplements that have been kind of confusing to some of our patients, including methylfolate, which is for MTHFR deficiency, or the enzyme is deficient. And that's going to be something that patients have heard us say and have been kind of confused about. And then we're going to kind of finally talk about why we're selling these supplements in our office. So I'm actually going to have Dr. Obregon come and take my seat, and then I'm going to ask him some questions off camera. So again, we can maintain our social distancing here.
So I just want to kind of get right to the heart of things. And one exciting thing that I've learned since we started to work together is how important these supplements are. So if you could just kind of talk about why it's important to check labs and why it's important to take supplements if you're deficient in any of these labs or these vitamins.
So just speaking in general, when we set out to treat disorders of the brain, whether it be depression, whether it be anxiety, whether it be problems with focus and attention or memory, it's important to form the foundation of any mental health treatment plan with making sure nutrition is intact. Because as we know, in addition to forming the foundation for our bodies to do what we do every day, it also forms a foundation for our brains to do what we do every day. So in addition to basic complete blood count, metabolic panels looking for looking for things like anemia or changes in electrolytes, we also check vitamin B12, a active form of folic acid in the red blood cells called red blood cell folate, and a form of vitamin D, 25 hydroxyl vitamin D, in addition to looking at thyroid function and looking at magnesium. All of these tie into optimal mental health functioning.
And I know that you and I have talked about this before in a little bit more detail, but it's my understanding that a lot of these vitamins are precursors to making certain neurotransmitters that are important for mental health functioning.
Absolutely. So we look for a couple different polymorphisms in the MTHFR gene, C677T, A1298C. And what ends up happening with these is you have a change in the protein, and these changes are not compatible with optimal activity of this particular enzyme. And when this enzyme is not active, as active as it normally should be, it's not able to convert from cysteine to methionine and then form S-adenosyl methionine. And S-adenosyl methionine is an important donor for a methyl group in order to synthesize the neurotransmitters that our medications tend to act on. But in addition, just for baseline neurological functioning, we need these neurotransmitters in place in order for one neuron to communicate with another neuron.
Right, and that's great that we've already answered that a little bit. So obviously when our patients are low in iron or vitamin D or vitamin B12, they can understand that they need to replace that. But we've got a lot of questions about that MTHFR gene. And so, you know, what you basically just explained is that it's if you're deficient in that, it actually codes for an enzyme that has certain activity that's important to synthesize neurotransmitters and for just basic functioning of the brain. correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. And to speak to iron deficiency, not many people know this, but mild iron deficiency can interfere with sleep and can be associated with anxiety problems, in addition to what people typically hear about, which is kind of a feeling of fatigue and kind of malaise.
Right, and I've seen that a lot in my own practice. I've been screening for iron deficiency for a long time, and patients, when they get that fixed, it can make a big difference.
Absolutely.
And kind of speaking to that, you've been doing this a lot longer than me in terms of going after these specific vitamin deficiencies or the MTHFR. What have you seen in your practice in terms of responses people have had?
And so where at other times in their life they haven't been responsive to psychotherapy or to medication interventions, or the effects of exercise or other interventions to help their mood or other mental health issues, they start to become responsive. It does take some time, but it again is just such an essential component of someone responding to whatever intervention that they pursue.
And anecdotally, I actually talked to one of your patient's mothers yesterday, and her son had been struggling with ADHD, had tried multiple medications, had side effects, and basically what you did is you found the deficiencies that he had, and you replaced them all and did some other supplements with magnesium and fish oil, and he is actually primarily being treated with those vitamins and supplements, and he's doing fantastic.
Yeah, that's what, a lot of times as physicians, we think about, going after the disease, but we forget to take care of some of the fundamentals. And in addition, a lot of kids, a lot of adults with ADHD tend to burn through their adaptogens, magnesium, tend to burn through some of these essential fundamental cofactors and vitamins and minerals. And when you replace those, a lot of times either side effects from the medications that we're giving them or the disorder that itself tend to disappear.
And another important point that I'm frank with patients is that we believe in this enough that we actually have gotten these labs checked on ourselves, and we take these supplements.
Absolutely.
And we all notice a difference as well.
Absolutely.
So I've also had a lot of questions these days with big business being what it is. Why are we selling these in our office? And, before we had the ability to sell these in our office, when we were kind of decentralized, we had a bunch of different locations. Now that we are centralized, we have the ability to have these in stock and actually sell them to patients. And the reason we're doing this is because before we would say, hey, go get these supplements, but people didn't know where to get them from. If they got them online, the prices can vary significantly. And also, depending on the manufacturer, these are not regulated by the FDA. And so you really have to know a lot about this subject to make sure you're getting the vitamins from a reputable manufacturer. So we've done all of that work for you guys. We have supplements from a couple different companies that are trusted and have good data showing that they actually have what they say they have in the bottles. But also importantly, in terms of pricing, we're able to get these medications at wholesale prices. And so we're able to offer them at a discount. So pretty much all of the supplements that you see behind me, we're able to offer at a lower price than you can find them retail online. So we're not doing all of this, to try to make a buck off our patients. What we're trying to do is provide a service to you guys so that you have access to these supplements from reputable companies at a price that's reasonable and something that you can do and continue to take. So hopefully this video answered some questions that you have. It's a little rough. We're just trying to put it together at the last minute here just to get some information out to you guys, try to answer questions. If you're a patient of our practice, we'd be happy to talk to you, schedule an appointment, sit down and go over this a little bit more. Also, most of our staff is pretty well educated about these supplements and can answer questions. If you're not a patient of the practice and you're interested in getting this screening done, you actually do not have to be a patient in order to come get labs done and get the screening done. And so hopefully this was helpful, and we'll talk to you guys soon.